The following presentation was recorded live in Kansas City, Missouri for CALLERLAB's 23rd Annual Convention.
This is tape number 19, Choreo Development, How to Call Mainstream Emphasis Calls.
Who's got the tape recorder? You ready? We're on? We're live.
You're on the air.
Good morning, I'm Jerry Story, and this is our Tuesday morning Choreo 2 session. I've been asked to clear up just to about actually 3 points before we get started this morning. We had a couple of glitches in our show the other day. One of them was they want me to make sure, is that better? That for the tapes, this is primarily for the tapes, that the people that listen to these tapes, if these tapes go anywhere and you're listening to these tapes, the session that we did, Johnny Preston and I both were getting the dancers, the demonstration square, into different formations quickly to save time so we could get more choreography to you. And we had a problem with some guys going crazy when we'd do that. When we'd say, head, step into the center, face your corner, everybody veer left. You know, they were going bonkers. Hey, that's bad body flow. Well, we have to explain that if we hear one of us say, heads, face your corner, and everybody veer left, we don't expect you to go out to a dance and call that, okay? So that's on the tape. That's the reason that we did that, all right? Number two, there was a confusion on the crossing rule. We've investigated that and found out that there is a misprint. There's an error on the CALLERLAB definitions of cross-run. So you might want to make a note of that, and they're going to clean that up. Any crossing rule is a half sachet, left shoulder, however you want to look at it. So it's an easy way to remember that. They're all the same. The glitch was if you're in an inverted line and you've got the ends looking out and the center's looking in, what that rule on cross run said was the ends move forward in a semicircle passing one another. Didn't say pass through, so I'm really not quite sure what shoulder they want you to use yet. I would presume it would be right shoulders. That's for the ends. As they're moving forward around to the far center spot, they would pass right shoulders. However, if you're in the center and you're both facing the same direction, and you cross-run, cross-fold, cross anything, it's a half sachet. Okay? That's cleared up. The one other thing they asked me to do, before we get started on that, Johnny Preston couldn't be here this morning. He is on his way to Australia to do a weekend. I've asked Tim Crawford from Burlington, Ontario, to be with us this morning, and he's going to be my sergeant-at-arms. We had a problem in the last session of people just speaking out of turn anytime they want. It got a little bit out of hand. So when we got off the topics, I've been asked to make sure we keep it on the topics. That'll be your job today, along with your wit and wisdom. A nice hand for Tim Crawford to help me out this morning. Thank you. Also, a very good friend of mine and a very good choreographer is going to be a tremendous asset to us today. A nice hand for Jerry Justin from Yuma, Arizona. What we're here to talk about is the mainstream emphasis calls. And I can't believe how many people around this country that I've talked to that have no idea what that word means. They know what a quarterly selection is, though, but they have no idea what an emphasis call is. It's being overshadowed by the quarterly selections. I guess that tells us something. Most of us would rather pick a new call or a call off of a higher level than we would investigate the calls that we already have. And that's what we're here today to look at. Calls that we already have. And try to make them danceable, because you can get it so hard that it's not fun either. And we're going to try to show you both sides of it. CALLERLAB, I don't know if a lot of you were here the other day, but some of you weren't. CALLERLAB has the standardization list now, and you can check with Georgie and see if you'd like one. It's really a great tool for the new caller to know what's simple application versus extended application. And they're working on the extended applications now, I hope. Because if you got one that's standard, I hope we have one that's extended to show us both sides of it. Anyway, getting on with it. We're going to go through probably as many mainstream calls as we can this morning, okay? And we're going to use a demonstration square again to start through this stuff. And if you get tired along the way, just let us know. We'll get a new square. But right now, I'm going to turn it over to Tim. Tim has some opening remarks, and then we're going to get the square up and get started, okay?
Good morning. Thank you for responding. I'd just like to start with some opening remarks so we can set the record straight. Ladies and gentlemen, these morning proceedings shall be conducted under the Parliamentary Procedures Act as established in the right of His Majesty Oxendine in the Queen's year of 1996, that all shall abide by the aforementioned procedures of order, and that participants shall blindly accept the material provided by here said panelists, and that their truth shall be the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and only the truth. That all here shall agree to the penalties and will be subject to the full and irrevocable consequences of such as outbursts or off-topic tangent writing. I've been charged with the duties of enforcement because of my sheer size and because I'm... And should you choose to tempt me, please be advised that I am not afraid to use my obvious physical attributes in the unified goal of order. Finally, remember to honor your panelists and hearken their words, for their success depends greatly upon their wisdom. I thank you.
What a team. All right, can we get a square? Volunteers? Anybody?
Where do you want us?
That's it.
Over there?
It doesn't make much sense.
Over here. Okay, then can we have another square over?
What did you want me to talk about?
Let's see, I'll set you down for whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Segment for whatever.
Okay, I'm ready for that.
Whatever you want. So I'll let you know. Okay. Una más, por favor. Oh, here they come. Thank you. Oh, I need a real man. Thank you, Kurt.
Notice that this T-shirt Kurt's got on.
Go Kentucky.
Notice everybody wears those T-shirts after they win.
Okay, let's. We've just kind of picked some calls at random here first, and then we'll try to get through as most of the mainstream calls today. Let's start off with Scootback. You know, that's one of the calls that, boy, I tell you what, 99 times out of 100, I see it done Scootback with the boy looking in, and the boy run. Go to an open plus dance. Well, even today you can go to an open A1 dance. That's a funny term, A1, isn't it? Anyway, you can go to an open A1 dance. They can't do Scootback with a boy and a girl going in. It's pathetic. All over the country, not just one area. It's all over the country, and I've traveled all over the country, and I've seen it. We're going to look at different Scootbacks today. Maybe it'll help. Sometimes I think the guys that need the help maybe aren't here. You know, I really feel that sometimes, but that's another topic, and you should have jumped right in there. Have the heads step in and face your corner. Bad flow. Great. Step to an ocean wave. You know, the Scootbacks from here are just as easy, and callers need to realize that for the beginning dancer, why not? Scootback. I mean, it's a boy and a girl, no big deal. You can go on with many applications of this. A left-handed Scootback is not hard. We can have the boys, just isolate the boys in the middle. It's nice to say left Scootback. That's a good hint for the dancers. However, if you don't want to after a certain period of time, I like to do it at least once or twice to let them know. And then after that, during your dance, you can use a lot of these tools often as you like. Boys scoot back. Everybody scoot back. And the girls scoot back. Funny looking girl. Sexual identity crisis here. Question.
These are the rules.
Do you have to say left scoot back, or do you just say scoot back?
Technically, it's a scoot back, unless it's a scoot back. Now, if I don't, it's a helpful hint. But if you're in a left-hand wave, and I ask everybody to scoot back, you have no choice. Okay? If you're in a right-hand wave, you have no choice. It's right. Then if I isolate the girls now, then it would be a left for them. It would be a right if I said everybody scoot back. If I isolate the girls, it would be a left. Everybody do half of a scoot back. Another great tool. Well, you know, they couldn't sell it at mainstream, so they changed the name of it, called it follow-through, and put it on C1. Some things just, you know, that are the way it is. Couple circulate. Half tag. Half scoot back. Ferris wheel. Boys swing through. There's so many scoot backs. Here's the quarter tags, and these are nice. Scoot back. Boys fan the top, and the girls single file promenade a quarter and face in. Hey, hey, hey. There is a time limit. Scoot back. And make sure you tell them to come back and form a wave in the middle if they're not used to it. They'll do it, but and a lot of times, then whoever's facing out, you'll know that a lot of times they want to turn around and see what's going on behind them. So you might have to help the dancer a little bit. With girls, stay looking out. Boys are in the ocean wave. Boys fan the top. Girls reverse single file promenade a quarter and face in.
Right shoulder.
Extend twice, and the boys partner trade. Who needs ping pong circulate? Scoot back. And the girls fan the top, and the boys single file promenade a quarter. And don't face in.
Don't face in.
And the girls hinge. Now you go to the left-hand waves, and you can scoot back from here as well. It's a left scoot back. Here we go. Little helpful hint for the dancer. Boys scoot back. Everybody recycle. I have no idea where you're at. Are they two out anyway? All right. Well, we won't worry about resolve anyway, okay? Basically, those are a lot of scootbacks, and I think that's enough on that. We can go on. There's much more, but the half scootback is the thing that I like. It sets up for a lot of nice choreography, and especially if you're at other levels, it really becomes handy. But another call that I think is a wonderful call that only gets used after a swing through is spin the top. Mercy, I called spin the top the other day at an A2 dance. I said head square through, four hands, and spin the top. My God, you'd have thought they'd have never heard of the call. And they did it afterwards, of course. You know, I showed it to them, saying we can do this. And it's just because they don't hear the call used in enough different ways. Spin the top. Twice. Spin the top again. Good. And just the center wave, spin the top. Twice. And everybody fan the top. Tops are a great family. They really are. Fan the top is not getting the usage that it deserves either. It's a great tool, a great call. So many dancers can't dance that today, all over the country. Split circulate. To a fan the top. To a spin the top. Swing through. Yellow rocker. Square your sets. Right now we're going to move on to Jerry Justin's presentation on folds and cross folds.
Okay, heads go forward, face your corner, and veer to the right. We'll get into it right away. Thank you.
That was bad.
All right, girls, fold in front of the boy. Now, when we do our folds, even though we're offset somewhat, we can still go in and use all the rest of the moves, and the people will adjust for us. From here, slide through. And, of course, when we do slide through from that side, we're going to have to say you're all facing out. Thank you. Do a partner trade. Pass the ocean. Boys, cross fold. And if you're working on the cross folds a little bit from a nice situation like that, where you're in a wave with the boys on the end, and you've got them to do a cross fold, a little hint from here, if you've used a figure in the singing call, promenade halfway, square through four, slide through past the ocean, And then the boys fold from this position, look at her, pass through, trade by. And you pass through from a Z formation, which is a modified column. And it feels weird for the dancers, but when they get there, it's an easy get out because everybody's normal. The girl is on the proper side, the normal side of the boy, and they feel good and they'll do it for you. Let's do it again. Slide through. Pass the ocean. The boys cross fold. Look at her. Pass through, trade by, and if this was your corner, you got a nice swing. But it feels different because you started it from non-facing real couples with a hand touch. The girls were touching in the middle. Slide through. Touch a quarter. All circulate. Boys run right, veer right, which is good body flow if we don't anticipate. Girls circulate and the boys trade. Girls fold in front of the boy. Now we're offset a little bit different from the other side, but we can still do it. Pass through. Trade by. And I know that the problem with the fold there is that the girls are adjusting in front of the boy and then have to veer a little bit to the left to use a right shoulder pass through. If you want to correct that, and the dancers will do it for you because it is smooth, we'll do this way. Everybody slide through. We're looking. Partner trade. Touch a quarter. All circulate. Boys run, veer right. And the girls fold, left pass through, trade by. And they'll fall into it even though we're on the wrong side. And you will have a little problem with the trade by the first time if you're on the wrong side. I probably would have not done it quite that way. No body flow. Let's veer to the right. Thank you. Boys circulate, girls trade. And using the same idea again of the left shoulder. Boys fold and do a left pass through. We're in a normal position and trade by. And they won't fight that at all if they would have fought the other one. So again, we've taken them from a non-feeling normal position with the fold, given them a left shoulder move because it's easier. They've already walked into it. But they're in a normal position. They will do it for you, and you'll get a success rate that you can't believe. Touch a quarter. Let's have the ends cross fold. So now we're working a non-sexist, making them decide if they're ends or centers. We're still in that Z formation, if you like. Pass through. Center square through 3 while the others do a U-turn back. I know we're working off-sided again. I wouldn't do that normally, except that we're trying to get through material here. For success, I would build up to that. I would leave them normal whenever I could use those moves, again, to give them the success I needed to work the moves. Touch a quarter. Centers trade. Ends cross fold. Now we're a little bit better on this one here. Slide through. And we got our nice two-faced line, and it fits in. The guys don't even have to adjust on that. Had we had the guys looking on the out position, and let's do that one time, tag the line all the way through. I know that's no smooth, but it'll work. Zoom. Girls do a partner trade. So the guys are on the inside now, and we can still do the slide through. The girls have to adjust a little bit here. The way I just did it, where the boys went to the inside, we didn't have to adjust at all. Slide through. The girls have to adjust back to a two-faced line, so that's not comfortable. It's not a nice move. And we got to realize why it's not a nice move. It was a right shoulder pass for the slide through. Bend the line. Pass through. The ends cross fold. Did we all do it right over there? No problems with that? If you meet somebody after you start to cross fold, what do? Pass right shoulders. They did it. Okay. I wasn't putting you down, y'all. I was just seeing if anybody out there was watching. Pass through. Trade by. Touch quarter. Ends cross fold. The only traffic pattern on that is if they're dancing nice squares like this square is here, and we don't get that, is the centers having to do that cross fold have to adjust around each other. If those centers are girls and they're wearing full costume, it's a rough place. The girls will brush in and they can't get by on that. So you might realize that you don't want to do that. All right? Slide through. Wheel and deal. Pass the ocean. Now we get into the tidal waves and we're talking crosses. You've got to help them a little bit because they've got to decide where their wave is first. And I always like to work on it. Help them who the centers are. Girls, you're the centers. Boys, cross fold. So the girls are not going to do anything here. They're going to keep that position. Now we're in a Z formation, which is a weird formation again, but we're normal. So everybody here do a right and a left through. And we're back in nice lines, and you've used a move that feels great. And yet it's different from the norm of not using the folds at all. Touch a quarter. Girls run around the boy, pass the ocean. Now we're in the setup here. We can't do a grand swing through because we're working mainstream program, right? So that to get the boys in the center of each wave, we've got to do something a little bit different. Not every floor is going to be able to do that, so you've got to work at that a bit. You could come in from a fan the top after the waves where the boys are in the middle. You have to get to that point. Some other way to get there than what I did. To pass the ocean half sashayed in a box formation is going to be a tough for most floors, but they did good here. Girls cross fold, and everybody's looking at somebody slide through. They're going to adjust back. Well, I shouldn't have said slide through, but it worked. Trade by. Nice going, dancers. We would have had a low success rate in most places on that one there. Pass the ocean. Now, if we want to work it just a little bit more on the cross folds from here, which is some neat stuff, centers, center wave of forward, figure out who you are. So you're going to help them. We're going to say, find out who you are. Girls, cross fold, just the centers. Thank you, just the centers. Darling, you're not a center. You are, but you're not in that one. Center forward, touch a quarter, the other's hinge. And we've come out to a nice normal column that would have worked from a normal line of 4, where the boys on the left side, girl on the right side, we did touch a quarter. And we went from a tidal wave from that to get to a nice normal column. All circulate. Boys run around the girl and veer right. And again, we've given them that lead. Notice how smooth that's getting right now, the veer right, because they've got it coming. They're not thinking left anymore. Couples circulate, and they're good caller dancers. Bend the line. Do a right or left through, and the ladies lead Dixie style to a wave. Go right into our fan the top if you're thinking about it, because it's a nice move. But we're in a non-normal situation now. We're in a tidal wave. We've got left hands used. But they're going to not fight this because we're not going to use anything with the left hand. Now, find your wave. Girls, cross fold. We're back to a situation that's normal. But the boys are holding right hands, so that's going to give us a little problem right now. You got to realize the boys are holding left hand or right hands. So we don't really want to call do right and left through. You could do it, but we don't want to get into that kind of a situation where you're using the same hand twice. We want a win situation again. Slide through, and they'll adjust at that point. We're still from that Z formation. It goes back to a nice, easy one, and we pass through and we trade by. Go ahead, pass through and trade by, and we've got that same setup again. Veer to the left. I know that wasn't smooth. I wasn't working on smooth there. Boys, we've got to keep saying that every time we say we're not going to do smooth. Boys, cross fold. Girls, trade and slide apart, girls. Boys, step forward. We didn't use the term that we needed for the next level. We could have if we were calling plus, but we don't need to. We're doing mainstream, so we've just given them that little thing. I had to help a little bit because girls cross fold will get in the way of the boys trade. So right now I'm going to do it as a timing thing. Girls cross fold, boys trade, slide apart boys, girls step forward. And I give them that step forward because to get back to our lines. And they're back to a nice normal situation. Couples circulate. Now from here, girls cross fold. Boys do a U-turn back. Now we're spread out. We spread our square out a little bit at this point. Usually they won't adjust as nice as they did over there, as Kurt did. Kurt did very good. He adjusted back in there, even though his partner didn't. Looking for their partner, and we usually don't give them time to adjust. We would have said at that point, pass through. Go ahead, pass through. And if we give them some time, they will come back to that. Everybody do a partner trade. Face the one you traded with. We're back to normal again. I give them another win situation. I did not use a call off the list. I said, face the one you traded with. And it's all in the listening techniques at that point, so we're back in lines of 4. Have I worked enough on cross folds?
You're doing awesome.
Square your sets.
Very good. Excellent. Tim, would you like to whoop something on him? Here you go.
Yeah, I'm just using Kip's material. Actually, yesterday I was talking with John Preston with you real quickly, and he told me he wanted to, something that he didn't get to talk to you all about yesterday, but he wanted me to stress for you this morning, is basically 4 things. That the ultimate purpose in all this is to get you, that we all call within a comfort zone. That's something that we're all comfortable calling. And this whole exercise is to get you all to try to investigate things beyond your own comfort zone. You only do that by practice, of course. And he wants you to encourage you as leaders to be more thoroughly, to better thoroughly investigate the vocabulary of the list that you're using. And because dancers are limited only by the caller's knowledge, if we improve our own knowledge, then the side effect, of course, is that the dancer's knowledge is better as well. And the most important thing was that the basic fundamental of successful teaching is that we have to go right back to our basics. And yesterday he spent a lot of time talking about runs and trades. And if we get those basics down solid, then it will be easier to teach, and the dancers will have a faster progression because their basics will be solid. Okay? So that's just to wrap up what Johnny was doing yesterday. I thought I'd take a look at spin chain through real quickly for you, just because it's a call that I think most of us just generally use from just right-hand waves. The left-hand waves are always available to us as well. Why don't we have the heads star through, pass through, and why don't you swing through twice. This is the standard, I guess the standard position that we would normally do a spin chain through from. Boys on the ends, right-hand wave, girls in the center. Let's do a spin chain through. It's not uncommon to activate the girls, not a spin chain the gears. We don't know that yet. Okay? It's not uncommon. As a matter of fact, it's probably more common than uncommon to have somebody standing still. We like to activate the ends by having them circulate one or two or something, or having them turn back and circulate. All kinds of options to do with the ends while the centers are active. Let's do another spin chain through. So the girls are moving. The very center trade, and then you cast 3/4. Good. Let's do a spin chain through, but let's have the girls circulate just once. And then girls, when you get there, why don't you turn back? Let's have all the couples circulate. And bend the line. Pass the ocean for me. And let's do a spin chain through, and the girls circulate twice. That's probably the one that most of us will use, because it times nicely. Let's do a spin chain through, and let's have all the boys turn back and circulate once. Pick up a girl and couple circulate. And then bend the line. And do a right and left through. Don't yell at me. I know that's not on the list, apparently. I just learned that yesterday. Apparently I don't know my definitions. Let's do a pass the ocean. The boys run around the girls. Bend the line. Right and left through, and do a Dixie style mega wave. Now, this is a left hand. Let's have the boys trade, and let's everybody do a left swing through. The left-hand wave, spin chain through, is always available to us. Go ahead, left spin chain through. You don't have to say left spin chain through. But, or do you? No, you don't. Okay, thank you for correcting me on that. It's my overwhelming knowledge coming through there. Now, so this is the spin chain through that we started with the left hand from the parallel waves. Let's do another left spin chain through. Of course, you don't have to say that, but you help the dancers. Let's do a spin chain through, and let's have the girls turn back and circulate once. That takes you to a nice two-face line. And bend the line. Pass through, make a U-turn back. Do a right and left through. Let's do another Dixie style, make a wave. And this is one that I like to do. I spend a lot of time getting them to this point, spend lots of times with spin chain throughs. I don't even know if this is legal, and I'm sure you'll tell me if it's wrong, but I start with the boys in the middle, and I'll have them do a spin chain through from here, and I'll tell the boys to start with the right, and their very next hand will be with the girls with their left. So let's do a spin chain through. It's half by the right, left 3/4, centers of each wave trade, and then left 3/4. Must be right. Centers trade. Let's have the boys run around the girls and pass through. Girls run around the boys. Boys run around the girls. Pass the ocean. Some other things you can do with spin chain through, other than that one for starting in the middle, is you can do it from a left spin chain through from here. If you tell the girls to start with your left, the second hand will be with the boys. That little piece of information, from experience, I found that if you don't say to the girls, start with each other, the second hand will be with the boys, they'll start to work down the middle. They'll try to normalize it for you. So I just tell them that because the success has always been greater by saying, girls, your next hand will be with the boys. So girls start a left spin chain through. So half, 3/4, centers of each wave trade. Gert, right here with your left. Good. Thanks for checking out that. Right. That's good. Perfect. Okay, let's have the very centers trade. Everybody scoot back. Boys run around the girls. Pass the ocean. And then there's all kinds of things that you can do as well, spin chain through, by having different components of the call do different things. So let's do this. Let's do a spin chain through. I'd like the girls to circulate once. But boys, when you meet with your left hand, only cast a half. So boys will have a wave. Good. Okay? Good. Boys, left swing through. Let's have the girls face in, face the boys. Boys, recycle. That's a good call. Boys, recycle. Boys, pass through and put centers in. Cast off 3/4. Let's all do an all 8 circulate. Boys go twice, so the boys will have to trade to do that second circulate. Good. Everybody pass through. That's how all the girls fold in front of the boys. Touch a quarter. And let's do a swing through. And let's do a spin chain through. I'd like the boys to turn back and circulate once. And girls, you just do your part just as nice as can be. Good. Couple, circulate. Girls, run around the boys. Let's have the boys trade. And then the boys will run around the girls. Bend the line. Star through. Do I have to resolve? No. Okay, swing through. Yeah. I do?
You're taking Johnny's part.
Okay, boys run around the girls. I can't remember. Couple, circulate. Chain down the line. I think I got it. Pass through. Do a wheel and deal. Zoom. Centers fan the top. Am I close? Swing through. Boy run around the girl. Wheel and deal. Are you home? That's right. I can resolve in less than 40 calls. So there's a... So
Are you done with that?
Yeah.
yes.
Have you ever done that from an Alamo?
We were just talking about that.
Actually, you might want to do that.
Do an Alamo left. Any Alamo style. Starting with your right hand, spin chain through half right. Next girl left 3/4. Boys star halfway across. Turn the opposite girl left 3/4. Alamo left. Okay, that's your Alamo style. Spin chain through. Cool, huh? All right, let's go on to zooms. How about some zooms? Are you guys tired? Are you cool? All right. Let's have the head step into the center. Turn and face your corner. All right. Everybody slide through for me. Touch a quarter. Circulate. From here, in each group of two, you got to figure out which is the leader, who's the trailer. Zoom. Put you right back into a column. Okay? Circulate. Zoom. Hinge. Fan the top. Good. Recycle, if you will. Slide through. Go forward, and when you come back, wheel and deal. Centers pass through. Everybody slide through. Do a left touch a quarter. In each box, scoot back.
No, boys. Get a bigger hammer.
Single file circulate. Zoom. Good. If you use tools like this at your dances, it can set you up for other calls. We've already done a recycle, and it's going to be easy now if you're working with dancers. You know, this thing, a lot of this stuff, we've done enough here now probably to last a month at least, maybe more, because dancers aren't going to be able to handle all of this in one night. You know, you need to pick pieces out and slowly work with your dancers over a year, 2 years. If we can keep them from going on to the upper levels, we can do that. But that's another problem. Circulate. Zoom. All right. With your left hand, hinge a quarter. Boys trade and recycle, so we got a nice line of 4. Pass the ocean. Scoot back. Boys trade. So now that you've worked those calls, you've worked zoom, you've worked cross folds, your dancers are doing them real nice, and it comes time to teach recycle. From here, we know that the ends are going to cross fold. The definition says that the centers fold, follow, and face. To me, that's a little vague. I mean, really. It's a good definition. As far as teaching, it doesn't help us a whole lot with teaching. The girls are going to do a cross fold, and boys, listen to what I'm going to ask you to do. While the girls cross fold, boys extend and zoom. And you just did a recycle. And they already knew those calls because we've been working them. So when it comes time for me to do an extended application version of recycle, I can call it like that. Might go against the definition. That doesn't really matter at that point. I can come back and tell them the definition later, like they're really going to remember it. You know, like they really care, right? Okay, so once again, let's just step to a wave. While the girls cross fold, the boys extend and zoom. And it's the exact footprints of a recycle, and that's what we want. Slide through. Go forward, and when you come back, wheel and deal. Double pass through. All right? Then you can get into fractionals, and they're fun too. Leaders do a 3/4 zoom, while the others step ahead and trade. Okay, so you got a squared set. Those at the head spot, pass the ocean. Recycle, pass through, slide through, right and left through, pass through, wheel and deal, and zoom. And the centers reverse the flutter. Do a right and left through. Everybody double pass through, and the leaders do a 3/4 zoom while the others trade. And you're home. Okay? Side couples. Let's see, what was I going to do next? Oh, to inverted lines, you can use fractional zooms. Head star through. Double pass through. Oh, let's put centers in and the centers run. All right. All 8 circulate. Good. Everybody hinge. Centers trade. All right. Everybody slide through. Centers pass through. And everybody do half of a zoom. You should have an inverted line for me. Okay? So we worked them out of that first because the reason I wanted to go through some inverted lines with the dancers because that's what I would do if I was calling at home. If I wanted to do this, I know they're going to end in inverted lines. Well, I don't want to put them in inverted lines if they've never seen them. So I want to work stuff out of these inverted lines first with the circulates, the trades, whatever. So get them to feel that there's going to be some 2 centers looking out, the ends looking in. So when I do call a half zoom, they've seen it before. It's not foreign to them. Centers cross run.
Slide in.
Do a right and left through. Pass the ocean. All 8 circulate. Spin chain through. Girls circulate 1.5. Boys, when you finish, do half of a walk and dodge and promenade your partner home. Okay, let's see what we got next. Jerry, you are up. Anything you like.
Can't turn it on. Just one more to add on to yours right there. Sides pass the ocean, head boys run. Fan the top centers and do a hinge. From here, all 8 circulate. Everybody trade. Now thinking who the leaders are. Boys, you're the leaders. Everybody do half of a zoom. Check a left-handed wave so that we go from the columns. If you extend it from there, you're going to go to waves. Fan the top. Girls 3/4 move up, boys. Left hand hinge. We're going to go to the column with the left hand. This will give us a nice one. Girls are the leaders, and I'll help you girls all the time because you need help. I mean, I wanted you to make it, is what I'm saying. Half of a zoom, and we're going to a nice right-handed wave. The boys are in the middle of that one. And it's a good way to use the zooms again on the half and not even go to inverted like Jerry was using, but we're back into a nice wave where we can swing through. Recycle. Veer to the left. Bend the line. And I know that one of my favorite letters that Tony wrote this year in the direction was the one at Christmas time when he was talking about the Christmas list. Of course, if you know me, I wear a hat, and I was really upset about the hat part of it, if you go back and read that. But the other one was, could you give me something to call after a walk and dodge besides a partner trade? Well, there are. Slide through. Touch a quarter. Maybe we can give Tony one of these tapes. Walk and dodge. And the boys trade. And it was a nice flow from the boys trade because they were walking forward onto it. We go to a left-hand ocean wave. And walk and dodge. And now we're stretching it there because we're tapping the girls to move to their left. Girls trade. Not good because the girl on the outside was moving away from the center and has to come back. So I did it on purpose, so it isn't good. Boys trade. We're back in nice normal lines again. And I think every one of you have seen everybody use the touch a quarter. From the columns, we don't use it very often. And what happens in the center is we got to work with these in-lookers in the center who want to go to the other side. Walk and dodge, but not our square because they're good. Trade by, and what did we do? We made the outsides do a partner trade, but the centers didn't, so that's different off the top. We've already said we don't have to do a partner trade after that walk and dodge. Slide through. So now we can use parts of the call again. We're going into extending a little bit so you can make a little bit of variation. Do a right and a left through. Nice flow, girls walk, boys dodge. And the boys will do that because they're doing a nice courtesy turn and they're in the spot. They move to the right. That was extending it farther than what I would have done to start with. I'd have started in this kind of situation. Girls run left. Everybody pass through. Nice normal partner trade. Boys walk and the girls dodge. And it's very smooth, and we've varied it a little bit from our walk and dodge back to our old partner trade and do something else. Boys run around a girl. Now, since you've got them doing it from lines, that's a nice, easy start-out position for any kind of situation. Slide through. So we're going to work it from this position now. Pass through and trade by. Boys walk, girls dodge. Who wasn't it good for? The outside girl. She had to move over again. Just to be aware of that. It works for 6 people, but be aware of all 8 people in the square. It'll work and they'll do it, but that doesn't mean it's good. We got to help each other a little bit on that for the dancers. Make it as best you can for all 8 people. Boys run around a girl. Pass through, trade by. Let's do it the harder way again. Do a right and left through, giving the girls the flow. Girls walk, boys dodge, and give us a nice left-handed column for half a zoom. And you've extended your material. If you've worked this one tonight and you've done the walk and dodges a little bit, now you've added on something. Boy, you got a whole bunch of material. On 2 calls, you can do all night long with the variations, and you got material coming out your ears. Boys run around a girl. Now let's expend it a little bit more. Galen, is that your opposite you're holding? Good. All right. Bend the line. Pass through. Wheel and deal. A double pass through. Put centers in. The centers trade, and the ends run. Nice flow. Pass through, wheel and deal. I didn't want to do that, but I did it. Double pass through, put centers in, and go ahead and cast off 3/4 since you probably really want to. Pass through, wheel and deal, and all the girls are in the middle, and then use a little variation. But don't just start with this position here. I use heads and sides a lot. I want the people to know who they are. It's a nice tool, and you got to remember who they are. Side girls walk, head girls dodge. So we're using that part. And we've taken away the smoothness of it, but we've given them a little bit of thinking power. It's a stop. Everybody's going to laugh a little bit because usually, not our square, but usually the girls don't know who they are. And they look around to their partner, and who am I? And so we got a little bit of conversation going on, which is great. Girls walk and dodge. Now, get them into a position like this, and we're all going to talk about it after you've used just the boys for a while. Sides walk, heads dodge. All right, and definitely they can't do it from there. And I say we've been doing it for a while now, okay? And I use that example because they'll think about it. Everybody will move around, they'll mull around, and at this point, I'm going to admit you can't do it. You can't do it. Go home. You can't do it. Nice try. Everybody laughed. I made a mistake. And I admitted I made a mistake. I take them back now. Heads, go forward, face your corner. Flutter wheel. Sweep a quarter. Sides, do a half sachet. We're not working flow for a second. Side boy and the girl you've got. How's that? Side boy and the girl you got. All right, I changed it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. From here now, heads walk, sides dodge. Now we got a win situation because now they've thought who they were. After the time that we didn't know who we were and we had a little fudge, now we can do it again. Swing through. Girls trade. Nice flow again. We're back into this. Now, I'm going to take it one more step. If you run out of things when you're doing the dodges, somebody walk, somebody dodge, let's take it one step farther and fractionalize 2 calls at the same time. And we're still working mainstream again. Boys scoot back, girls dodge. And they're going to do that because the boys have a nice right hand and it's a normal thing. All the boys know how to scoot back. That was a nice starting position from that weird position. Boys run around a girl. Do a right or left through. And then I'll take them from here. Half sachet to put them in abnormal, but the girls can do a scoot back and they know how to use their right hand. Girls scoot back, boys dodge. I wouldn't have done it from that position, but that's where I would have wanted them in. All walk and dodge. and the boys trade, and the girls do a U-turn back, and all pass through. Wheel and deal. Centers pass through. Everybody slide through. Partner trade. From here now, slide through. From here, boys scoot back, girls dodge. Another nice one. And it takes it away from the lines, gives us a column right out of the situation here. Nice stuff. Boys run around a girl. Veer to the right. Right. We were waiting for the tape to be changed on that shit. I know that. Bend the line. Now, if you want to extend it even further from here, pass through. Wheel and deal. How's that square doing? You wearing out? Double pass through. Put centers in. Everybody do partner trade. Galen, where's your opposite? Over here. Okay, I got you. From here now, and we're extending it a little bit farther. Galen, your head. Heads scoot back, sides dodge. But we didn't want to just walk into that. We've been working heads and sides all this whole tip and the last tip, so everybody knows they're going to do it. And a nice flow on that. Yes.
I know if I'm going to use that type of material, I let them know at the beginning of the tip. Remember who you are as a head or a side. If you're a lady or a boy, don't check right now, though.
Don't check. Centers trade. Boys run around a girl. Are you partnered up sides? Pass through. Wheel and deal. Center slide through. Are we home here? Sides right and left through. Thank you. Four ladies chain. 3/4. Just go another quarter. It's all right. Just go one more quarter to go the right way. And you know, it was a gotcha in a way, but there's nothing wrong with, because if you start once in a while using four ladies chain 1/4, they'll go ahead and do another quarter chain for you. They may not even get in the star, but they'll go the other quarter. Yeah, we're all right. Heads past the ocean and swing through. And I know, and everybody's going to jump up on this one here, I'm positive. Side girls trade. Well, jump up and down. Well, I didn't mean you all. I meant somebody was supposed to say something about that. You're overturning that. They were the side girls. That was a good square. I mean, they knew that we'd led up to that a long time. What was I going to do on that? You give up on that. I had something in mind. It was brilliant. It was extend to the outside. Be quiet. Sides run around the heads. Boys are looking out, girls are looking in. There's a little help on that point. Couples circulate. They must be getting tired, yes. Bend the line. Pass through. Wheel and deal. Girls sweep a quarter. Now, if you really want to get all wild on it, take them to the couples on this kind of square here, and have the boys move into the middle. Side boys scoot back, the head boys dodge. All right, boys hinge. Everybody scoot back. And again, working the sides, heads idea. Sides run around the heads. And we got a nice setup. Boys wheel and deal, and the girls trade. Girls face each other, boys pass through. Face each other, boys back to a line. And that's enough. Square your sets, guys. How about a hand for our square?
Yeah, we got 30 minutes. Just good.
Okay.
Yes, we got 30 minutes.
I just thought of what I was really trying to do a minute ago. Can I do this? Will you bear with me? Are you home now with everybody? And I just forgot it again. It was early. Let me think here now. I know I had that. Oh, yes, got it. Four ladies chain, 3/4. That was the start, wasn't it? Forgot that. Original head ladies lead flutter wheel. Sides past the ocean. Sides past the ocean. Thank you. You did very well. That was a good one. Now, and somebody would say that's not fair to the dancers. I was completely fair. I said original head ladies lead flutter wheel. They were nice and flowing. These people all just went to sleep like I wanted them to. And I said, sides pass the ocean. At that point, you're in a squared up position. The side boy's name overrides anything else that they've got with them, because that new person is their partner as we do any kind of progression in any kind of a squared up situation. Anywhere else, it would not have been right. But from there, it was right. Thank you. You were good.
I just had one more call that I just wanted to. It's not a hard call, and it's just a call that I don't think we use enough of, and that's turn through. And turn through is just a call that's on that list, and it's a utility call. We mostly use it from a static square, one way or another, out on the left, come back and turn through. But the call is a good little call. Let's have the head star through and pass through. Everybody do a turn through. This will be your right arm. Remember, you have to finish back-to-back with the person you did the turn through with. And even at the advanced and challenge levels, we find that in a lot of cases, a turn through is just not danced well or good. It's just not danced. So let's all do a trade by. Slide through. Of course, you're all facing out. California twirl. And it was a Canadian out. Shh, quiet now. Ready? Turn through. And let's have the girls run around the boys. Girls scoot back, boys walk and dodge. And why don't we have the boys run around the girls? Now, that was great flow. Centers trade. I would like the boys just to begin and finish with the girls, do a left swing through. So the boys half, and then the very center will trade, and you'll be done. And then let's have the girls run around the boys. Pass the ocean. Swing through. Centers trade. Let's have that boy run around the girl. Half circulate. Bend the lines. Those in the head's position, pass the ocean. And recycle and sweep a quarter. That's not really what I want to do. Let's have the sides pass the ocean. That girl trade. And you guys, are you close to being home? Why don't we do that then? That's a good out. So I just, what's that? Yeah, I could have done that too if I wanted, but I didn't want to. Now, just turn through is one of those calls that we just don't use, and it's a great little call, and you can use it from everywhere.
Use the turn through from a squared up position if you're using separates. Heads, turn through. Heads, thank you. Separate, go around one, squeeze into a line. And it's a great tool from that position. Touch a quarter. Girls run around the boys. All pass through. Centers face in, the others U-turn back.
Let's just do one more with turn through. Turn through is a great call. I was talking with somebody the other day, and does everybody remember when we used to have a call called turn and left through? Remember that? And I don't know why. I guess, we can say turn through and courtesy turn. So I think that was the reasoning behind it. But I want you to think of how we got into that call. We were doing spin the tops from boxes. I'm telling you, we were. And today we can't do them. Back when we were doing turn and left through, how did we get there? We did a head square through 4, please. And we did spin the tops. And we did a turn and left through. We did a turn through, and we courtesy turned a girl. We did. And now, and people today are telling me that that's too hard of stuff, man. That's just too tough of stuff. We can't call that to the dancers. They're not going to do it. They'll do it for you, I'll guarantee you, and they'll like it. Pass through. Wheel and deal. Centers do a left square through 3. Spin the top. Turn through. Courtesy turn. Half sachet, once and a half. And the boys turn through. And everybody pass through and trade by. Everybody touch a quarter. Boys trade. Run around a girl. Bend the line. Star through. Pass to the center. And the centers do a left square through 3. And everybody turn through. And the centers do a left turn through. And everybody do a clover leaf. To a right and left grand. And you're home. Thank you. We're starting to run out of time, and we do want to get to questions and answers. So if we could just open up the floor at this time, and my sergeant at arms, if you would run the mic around, and a nice hand for our square. You can sit down now. Thank you so much. Good dancing.
Just a quick announcement: if Alita Dunn is here, is Alita Dunn here? You're not here? Never mind then. Is there any questions, comments, anything at all? There must be.
I noticed that you were doing run figures. Do you do any, and if not, why, cross runs if the girls are on the outside and they'll be coming into the center? Do you do them, and if you don't, why?
I use them, but very seldom. That would be the reason being is that's a hard situation. It's a no-win situation to have the ends cross-run. The thing that you're going to find happens is the ends trade because they're used to going around the far side. And you can use it in a workshop or at a level of dance that you could do it. Once you show them that they need to be in the other center position, you could do it. But I wouldn't use it without leading into it heavily.
Is it a call we don't use because why don't? It's difficult because we don't use it.
Well, it's agreed. It'll be one of those calls that once you guys all teach everything we told you today, then we'll come back and do that next year.
Good.
1, 2. Jordan McBroom from Maryland. When you were using the left pass-through, I've not heard left pass-through, but you followed it with a trade by, and I wasn't sure whether you intended that left-shouldered pass in the center or not. The squares seemed to have problems with it.
Funny situation on the shoulder set up, and again the reason was to make the flow from the fold to use the left pass through. If you think about everything we do, usually we alternate right left, and except the trade by, because we do right through, and everybody will do the pass through without any kind of other norm on a right shoulder, and it ended up to be a weave motion. But it's smooth because there's room in there to do it from that left pass through. They went to the left, but they had room to do it. And my means to get the fold smooth was the left pass through to the trade by. And the dancers will dance it as a weave. And so I say there's nothing wrong with that at that point because I wanted to make the first part smooth to use it. I wouldn't use that a lot. But and again, we're taking them to that. If you got the dancers to that point where they're dancing that stuff pretty easily, that's something you want to do.
That's something you have to tell them that because we do this for a comment.
Yeah. Normally we would want them to do a right shoulder, but I wasn't getting into that heavily. That's getting into pretty heavy too. And again, even that left pass through is on the far end of the scale. That's not one I want you to go out and call tomorrow.
And from the dancer's point of view on that, I just went with that because that's what flowed for me. You wanted to trade by in the middle. As far as the trade by in the middle, it's not going to hurt anything, and the outsides are going to do their normal thing anyway. But he was saying girls on the end, cross-fold. Whenever I do that, I give them the helpful words that, help out a lot. And I always say, girls cross-fold to that far dude.
Was you saying cross-fold or cross-run?
Well, you can cross-run. Same difference. Tell that far dude, get out of your way. I got dudes and dudettes where I come from, so however you want to translate that into your own area.
Thank you, Mr. Braffett. Questions? We've got 15 minutes, so... Yep. Hi, Jerry.
Jerry Wright from Lincoln, Nebraska. I use that turn through a lot, but I find I have a little problem with one when I use it from an ocean wave. But I'll use it in a singing call and have them swing through boys, trade, turn through element left, and come back to your corner. But I'll work it in the pattern first with the boys, trade, turn through, trade by, and get them used to flowing that. That's a good movement from an ocean wave. It's a little different because a lot of people don't do a turn through out of an ocean wave.
You know, a lot of that has to do, once again, with early teachings. When we're teaching our basic classes, if they have trades accomplished, then turn through is no problem. But if they can't trade, well, you're going to have difficulty with turn through on them. From ocean waves, it's all it is a trade and extend. So what we're saying here, all of this stuff is simple, but you have to simplify it. You got to help them out, and by helping them out, I mean, if we just prepared the dancers a little bit more, if we'd work with them a little bit more on our basics, it'll help us out all the way up the line on every aspect, especially what we talked about yesterday. Your basic trades, runs, folds, cross runs, cross folds, the circulate family we could spend a week on. I wish we had another week to go here. This has been a great convention, hasn't it? More questions? We must have been very thorough.
Gene, I'm on? Okay. Gene Spence, Greenville, South Carolina. In legitimacy of moves, is a pass the ocean from an ocean wave a legitimate call? If you've got parallel ocean waves and you call past the ocean,
I wouldn't call
to
it
a grand tidal wave, you know, equivalent of a locket, is that
I
a
wouldn't
legitimate call?
Well, I guess it's as legal as anything else. It's as legal as doing a right and left through from an ocean wave.
But it's not comfortable.
I wouldn't call it. You know, I don't think. Jerry says he would. I'd say I wouldn't. Yeah, it might be a gimmick thing, you know, once or twice. Not something that I believe that's going to help you out entertainment value-wise at your dance.
I would only on a far extreme basis, but I would worry more about doing a pass the ocean from half-side stage position before I do that, so that we get used to not doing the hook and turn move that we could add a roll on, but not by definition. Oh, we're not in that level, are we? Excuse me.
Harold Haley from Joplin, Missouri.
Hi, Harold.
Hi, Jerry. When you were in Collins a while ago and you started to do a walk and dodge, you said something that I certainly didn't pick up. You said we normally wouldn't do this because we have the dancers we have or whatever. But in a column, when you do a walk and dodge, I still assume, by definition, everybody that's facing in will walk. And only the ends will dodge, by definition, unless you say before that, in your foursome walk and dodge, did you mean what you said, that they're not going to everybody walk?
I really don't recall. I think it was Jerry, because I don't recall.
Good doubt.
It was me. And as far as I know, by definition, it's in your foursome. It's not a grand move. If you want the people to walk across the center, you've got to say, everybody do your part, walk and dodge. If you do your part, if you're looking at somebody's back, you walk, or somebody's position, you walk on that position. And if you're looking out, away from anybody, you dodge. And that's my the way I understand the definition anyway. Does anybody else think different?
I appreciate that, except I really thought by walk and dodge, if you were looking at somebody's back, you walk.
In your group.
And I don't think it says that in the definition.
Yeah, in your group of four.
I probably better read them again.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You know, it goes back to the far extreme again. You know, I think we need to make this point just a little bit more clear when we say far extreme. Can I have one more square of dancers? Can you just want to volunteer? We've got 10 minutes. And I want to show you what I would consider far extreme. Okay? Anytime that you have to say, do your part of a call, chances are that's going to be a far extreme. When you have to break it down, because what you're doing there by saying, do your part of this call, that means you're either going to be in T-bones, you're going to be in some formation that is not a basic or a mainstream known, it's a foreign position. Let's have the heads touch a quarter. Now this is the mean stuff here. Everybody do your part, split circulate twice. This is mean. I mean, it's just right down mean, but it's legal. It's, you know, I don't like to call it unless you've got dancers that are just absolutely awesome and you want to give them something. Did they figure it out yet? Okay. Girls are nose to nose. Boys are in tandem, one behind the other. Nose to nose, ladies. All right. Girls touch a quarter. We're gonna do it again for you. You bet. In each box, do your part. Split circulate. Boys should have right hands joined. Girls should have left hands joined. Straight across, Cindy. Get her by the left hand. Straight ahead of you. She's right in front of you. Get her by the left. Yep. And the other girl needs to turn around and get a girl by the left. No, wrong girls. Wrong girls. Right there, that girl. You got a left-hand box. Girls with your left hand hinge. The two center girls trade. In the center column is 6. Circulate. All right? Or do your part, walk and dodge. You could have done that. The center wave, recycle and sweep a quarter while the other girl do a U-turn back. Now that's what you call advanced mainstream. Okay? It's killer mainstream. Let's do it again. Heads touch a quarter. When you're doing your split circulates and if you want to work it, if you got a killer group that really loves choreography, you have to explain to them that there's 4 dots on the floor in your box of 4. And I'm going to ask you to progress to the second dot in your box, and if you have to pass somebody, pass them right shoulders. Boys are working single file around the girls. The girls are going to pass through, and then they're going to flip over to face each other just like they are now. Everybody do your part, split circulate twice. Boys are in tandem, girls are nose to nose. Ladies touch a quarter. Now here's the one that fooled them. That lead boy thought his split circulate was to turn right and step forward. That lead boy is in a phantom column. That's what makes this stuff tough. Because we're working on choreography here at the mainstream level with advanced and challenge formations put to it. Okay? So that lead boy has to flip 180 degrees on his split circulate. The other boy will step up and get him by the right hand. The girl looking in is going straight across the hall. The other girl is going to fold in behind her. Everybody do your part. Now that's the key. Split circulate once. Girls left hinge and the center girl trade. The center column is 6. Do your part, walk and dodge. Center wave, recycle, and sweep a quarter, and the others do a U-turn back. So there's your as far out as you want to go with this stuff. So what we want to do today, I think, is come back to the middle and find stuff that we can get the dancers through. If you can get them through that, more power to you. But that's the toughest stuff you're going to find. When you have to say, like you're talking, if it's so hard, you've got to say, do your part of this call. Chances are you have walked across the line too far. Thank you.
Thanks, Square. Just to add what Jerry just said there, in all of what we're trying to do, remember the basic idea is that we want the dancers to have fun, no matter what you're doing. And if they're having fun dancing, swing through, boys run, bend the line right and left through, without you having to call it, it's going to be they're going to have a hard trouble dancing to Jerry or I. And that's not what we're looking for to call to. But if that's what the group is, you'd have to do that. But make them let them have fun with it. And having fun means you're going to have fun too with them. And that's the underlying thing. Have fun, let them laugh, and enjoy it.
Any more questions? Yes. Hold up.
Hi, Jeff Palmer from Colorado Springs. I think everybody probably already knows this already, but this isn't first tip material you're doing here. This is
this is
later
just to warm them up, right?
Yeah, and like once a night or something. I'm assuming you don't want to sit there and hammer at this stuff all night long. One of those. Yeah.
You know, to me, that's what star tips should be. If we're going to have star tips, they should be within the level that you're calling. Not dangle another level in front of these dancers. If you're going to do a star tip at a mainstream dance, that star tip should be mainstream. End of story. Because we do nothing but perpetuate this monster. See?
Yeah, Mike Hogan from Omaha. Had a wonderful time dancing. Thanks, guys. Two things. One, kind of to reiterate what Jeff said. You got to do this a little bit at a time. You can't just throw this stuff out. I mean, a lot of guys sit at home and they write choreography and they go, wow, this is great. Well, there's an easy, there's a medium, and there's a hard. And you got to work your way through it. I guess a comment that I'd like to see, and I use the emphasis calls a little bit. But I'd like to see when that emphasis call comes out, whoever puts that out, put some material together, some suggestions. Use it this way, use it that way, maybe a couple of pages. Does that come out? I know there's a couple of ideas, but there's a lot of guys that need a jump start, and that might help.
From what I hear, I think the quarterly selection committee, it sounds like, are finally getting on the right track. I understand that there's a resolution on the table that we're going to do away, or they can't put any more advanced and challenge calls on on the Plus Quarterly or the mainstream quarterly list. If they get that accomplished, I think you're going to see the emphasis calls start coming back a little more. So, I mean, we're hoping that things will continue to go. I see little bits of achievement here, and that's to me, I'm learning that little bits is very rewarding. You know,
Jerry, as a comment, being a member of that committee, we did vote on our little vote that we'd have no more than one.
That's still a step in the right direction.
No more than one move on the quarterly selection from any step higher.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. We changed it to A1, A2.
I'm sorry I brought it up. We're off the topic.
It's okay.
Okay. Any more questions? How about a nice hand for Tim Crawford and Jerry Justin for helping me out? And we certainly appreciate you spending your time.
Story.
Thank you very much. Come to the debate at 1:30 right here. We're going to talk about one level of square dancing. It's going to be very interesting, I'll guarantee you.